live. We'll do it live.
And we're live. And we're live. We've gone live.
We've gone live.
We are live.
We are live. I'm just waiting for the feed to come through on my Fizzone
Fizzone
for shizzle.
for shizzle.
There's a definite glow behind my head
Well, there's a
from
window
that
there.
bright window.
Yeah, can you angle your finger down, or is it that distracting?
That's not distracting for me. I'm more what's the word?
Ethereal?
Yes, ethereal.
You do look ethereal.
I do look okay. Let's
As though
see.
you are one with the universe.
One with the ethereals.
That sounds pretty good to me over there.
Yeah, I don't hear double echoes.
Dude, I think we figured it out.
We got it.
Can you believe that noise? We figured it out.
We just did it.
We did it. I'm so proud of us. My gosh, it's 2:15 and we're ready to go live. Are you serious?
Yes, ethereal. You do look ethereal.
Wow. I'm proud of us.
I am proud of us as well.
I'm going to share this on Facebook. That's how proud of us I am.
Yeah, I don't hear double echoes.
Dude, I think we figured it out.
We got it.
Can you believe that noise?
Okay, I'm turning this down. I can see if anybody chats with us at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll do it live. Right now, Nick is posting fun stuff. Social meeting.
That's the
book.
That's the verb.
That is the verb.
The verb for
the verb of the noun.
Yeah.
When you turn a noun into a verb, it becomes a social meeting.
Love it. Love it. So we got us to Sacred Jedi Texts and to our friends over at Geek Life.
And Twitter went out that said we're live.
Yeah,
we'll do it live.
Our billions of Twitter followers are sure to flock to us.
They will.
Any moment now.
Ah, like green birds coming off of an air vent after it gets shot with a laser bullet.
Yeah, man. What was that all about? Where did those birds come from? It's like, did they just shoot an aviary? I thought that was like a exhaust vent.
Yeah, it looked like an exhaust vent that the guy must keep birds in or something. So I don't know. I definitely wouldn't want to smell all that bird poop in my air vents. That's for sure.
Yeah, but it didn't look like exactly the most well kept of planets. Which,
planets.
by the way, was not Nar Shaddaa.
I was gonna say.
Anyway, I guess we should get this show on the road, huh?
Anyway, once you're done live tweeting, and
I just got to send it to all of our millions of followers on Sacred Jedi Text. We are live now.
Now we are live
and talk Kenobi. Post.
Groovy.
Hey, I think let's get this bread.
Let's get this bread?
Yeah, that's what the youths say.
Oh, okay.
Let's get this bread.
Let's get this bread. All right, I'm recording in Audacity as well.
Thank goodness.
Yes. On this episode of Bantha Milk,
we actually do it.
We do it right. And lots and lots of spoilers for Kenobi episodes 1 and dose.
1 and dose.
1 and dose.
Going live.
Rainbow music.
Wait, that's not it.
What?
Intro music. Intro music.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
Yes, it is.
Very complicated, but there actually was some bounty hunting in our production today that we saw. But oh my gosh,
it has
the
come.
time is up. What is it? What is it? It's a delight.
It's a delight.
And it's here. It's finally here. We are live right on YouTube or on Instagram. I'm live streaming just a little bit over there on Instagram. Hello, Instagram users.
Hello, Instagram.
We are back once again for another episode of Bantha Milk Podcast.
Bantha Milk Podcast.
This might be the most excited I've been for another episode in a long time.
Yes.
This was that one I was really waiting for.
Yes, I agree. It's interesting, and I also think maybe. Like, everybody loves Boba Fett. Everybody loved Boba Fett, but Boba Fett was neither a good guy nor a bad guy. He was just a bounty hunter.
I hear your fan in
it's
our
a
broadcast.
fan. I paused. I'm like, what was the noise?
That's really loud. Is the mic even near it?
No, it's far, far away.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very loud. But Kenobi was a hero through all of, until he died. But then,
Sure.
Ghost Kenobi was still a hero, I guess, a little bit in 5 and
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but everybody wanted, and I guess 1, 2, and 3, he was a hero for the first 3 horrible episodes of Star.
But the goal of a lot of these new things is to redeem some of the qualities of the prequels that were less savory, and I think this is definitely helping with that.
I think so. Yeah.
It was really rad.
It was really rad.
I'm excited to talk about it. We're gonna go through the both episodes that were aired today. We're gonna maybe not go in as painstaking detail as we have in the past, but we are gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about what we think's come. Questions I have.
Yeah, I feel like every character died.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's some strange stuff
Yeah.
going on, and like there's some plot holes that I'm hoping are tied up
Yes,
in a couple of the later episodes, right? So, but yeah, I think we're ready to go.
I think
What-
we are.
we
So
have
let's.
we have any Star Wars news this week?
Just a little bit of Star Wars news. Some things that are fun.
Star Wars news.
Bonk.
So, as you know, Star Wars Celebration is going on right now. So, on that thing they call the Tube of You, you can pretty much watch everything live, even though you didn't pay $900 to go there.
Yeah.
But hey, why not? So, a lot of things.
Dude, we forgot our drink.
We did forget our drink.
Keep talking about the news.
Keep talking about the news. Hazy Bones.
We
a
got the
game.
same drinks as last time.
And because last time was what, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
So,
Wow, yeah, this is a pretty back-to-back couple
Yeah.
episodes. But this time you got to do it in there.
yes. Although it was super loud
Yeah.
last time, even from far away. So
Ooh.
hold on. It's my weak fingers. Here we go. There we go.
No, that pop was good.
That was a good pop
I needed
there.
that one. All right. So speaking of Star Wars,
So Hayden
Celebration.
Christensen and Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, they were being interviewed, and he was like, "It's about to get started," and everybody in the crowd was like, "Yeah!" People were waving their lightsabers and everything like that. So it was pretty exciting. So Star Wars Celebration is going on right now. If you didn't afford the nights or the $179 tickets, or can't be in Anaheim
like
right now,
$70 a day.
$5 a day if you just want to go for the day. If you can't make it to Anaheim, YouTube has people are streaming things live all the time, so you can check it out on YouTube. So that's that. This one I found very funny. I don't know if you know, as you can see behind me, I collect a lot of toys and stuff like that. But they have the Star Wars, the Black series of all the action figures, which are like the highly detailed action figures and stuff. Last year, I didn't realize that they did it last year, but Dave Filoni's character in The Mandalorian, Trapper Wolf or something like that. What was his name?
In The Mandalorian, Dave Filoni.
He was one of the X-wing pilots.
Right. Yeah, I remember. I forget his
whatever his name was as the X-wing pilot. He has his own Black
series.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And it looks a lot like him. It's pretty funny, but that came out last year. So this year, Jon Favreau's character came out.
Okay.
One of, Jon Favreau's been like 6 different characters throughout all of Star Wars time, as well as Mark Hamill has been multiple different characters as well. But Jon Favreau's Mandalorian character is there. He's wearing the whole Mandalorian outfit, and his helmet comes off, and there's Jon Favreau's face underneath it.
All right.
Yeah, so you can get an action figure of Jon Favreau and of Dave Filoni.
Man, I would love to. I mean, Jon Favreau, bless him, he's a great guy doing good stuff, but he's not aged entirely wonderfully.
No,
so I am intrigued to see what that
since Swingers, when he was, since Swingers to now, he definitely looks a lot different. But yeah, so that's all I really.
I'm looking at it right now. Interesting.
It's pretty funny, right?
They really did make him look a little. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
he kind of looks a little Hispanic, like one of my people, the Puerto Ricans.
There you go.
Which I don't think he is.
No, I don't think he is, but
All right. It's a good looking action figure, man.
It's a good looking action figure. It's very bendable. There's in the pictures, there's like poses where he's standing on the helmet, like 1 foot up on the helmet and whatever, and all kinds of stuff, and who knows, whatever. So yeah, so if you want a Jon Favreau action figure, you can now get one.
Thank goodness. It's been years I've been waiting.
I know. I've been waiting. I was hoping they would come out with the Swingers action figures, but they didn't. But now you can get a Star Wars.
Thought the Black Series Swingers.
Black Series
action figures.
Vince Vaughn is 2 feet taller than everybody else in the cast. So yeah, so that Andor. They just had a new
Yep.
trailer for Andor.
Yeah. And is it going to be called Andor? Because there's another thing coming out called Skeleton Crew, right?
No, this is Andor. Yeah,
Okay.
because at the end of it, the title is just Andor,
Right.
and it's interesting. The O in Andor is the reversed color of the rest of the letters.
Okay.
So I don't know what the significance
Yeah.
is of that, but
Interesting.
yeah, but that is the case there. It looks good. It's like we saw him the end of his career after
Right.
he had already designed the Death Star and then was trying to prevent it from being built. This is taking place, I guess, at the beginning of his career. So it's a whole different timeline. The clips and everything are really cool because since it does take place, I guess maybe even before episode 1.
Definitely before episode 1.
Maybe I'm
Uh,
not, because
Can't be before episode 1, right? Because he would be, I mean, that was like 30 years before Rogue One. And
okay.
Andor probably was like 30 years old,
Okay.
right? So my guess is it would have to be sometime after episode 3, maybe, but before episode 4.
Okay.
Like Bad Batch kind of
All right.
era, right?
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Because
But I think it's like him, like a little younger. So it might even be like 10 years before we saw him before.
which would be like right before
Maybe right.
New Hope, right?
Yeah.
Which would put 10 years before New Hope is actually right around a little before Kenobi takes place.
Okay. Okay. But it seemed, maybe I was just looking into it too much. It seemed like a different time frame.
Okay.
But I could have just been like hoping it was like a new time frame type of deal. Maybe it's just because it's a different planet and people
Sure.
do different things, whatever.
I could also like be a real Star Wars fan and go watch the freaking trailer. I don't know how I haven't seen this trailer yet.
Yeah, it came out, I think, yesterday.
Oh, well, I had a concert yesterday. That's why.
You did, yes.
I was a
So-
little occupied.
You were a little occupied. So that came out, and I saw Top Gun last night.
How was it, man?
Amazing.
You were very excited for it.
Yeah, so
John Hamm was in it, right?
John Hamm was in it.
You don't have to worry about, I'm maybe I'll see it someday, but I'm not the Top Gun guy, so don't worry
So
about if y'all are out there like trying to avoid Top Gun spoilers,
I mean, you need a bad guy in a show.
Sure.
So John Hamm hates Maverick.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Why wouldn't he? So yeah. So
But
whatever.
it fulfilled everything you needed from a Top Gun sequel.
Oh yeah, and the best part was like I went with my son, and he never saw the first one, and like I love like I told you last week, I love the first.
We got our buddy Brian in chat.
Oh,
Hey Brian.
Hey Brian. So this one was like the Top Gun for this generation. Like it was right. Like I think it's in my top 3 movies of all time.
Oh wow.
It was really, really good.
So had Trey seen Top Gun before?
No.
Okay, so did he come home and want to see Top
So
Gun?
he was like, I want to see Top Gun. He goes, but I don't want to ruin it. And I was like, the problem is, I mean, the storyline is different enough that it's not a complete reboot of the first one.
Okay.
But there's really, I mean,
Similarities and-
yeah, it's an action war movie. Like you go to war and whatever. So it's
People
very
are gonna
similar.
die,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
very
gonna-
similar storyline, but different enough. But if he were to go home and watch the first one right away, I'm sure he would be like, this is just like this one. So he wouldn't appreciate it as much as I did. But it was definitely different enough. But they had a lot of callbacks to the first one, which I really liked.
Sure.
So it was wonderful.
Another one that came out recently that I hear is outstanding, shockingly enough, that has great callbacks to like the 90s, is Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
So I watched that Thursday.
I heard it's really good.
It's this generation's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Okay, man, I gotta watch it. That's great.
And in that there's so many things going on in the background, and they pull in every single genre, every single, like there's Transformers in the background. Like they went all the way across, like copies of Warner Brother characters, Disney characters, live action people. Like there was one scene, Baloo's up on stage and he's singing, and they kind of zoom in or pan across this guy playing piano, and I'm like, I don't know who he is personally, but I know that guy. I'm supposed to know who that guy is.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't just a piano player.
Sure. They
Like,
like
yeah, it was
specifically. Yeah.
probably the guy who voiced Baloo originally or something
Right.
or whatever. Or, somebody is going to be like, oh my God, that was blah, blah, blah. Like, so there's so much in the background. You need to watch it like a dozen times just to see all the things you miss in the background.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I got to check that out.
so yeah, so that was pretty good. So it's been, and then also, tonight or today, Stranger Things comes out as well on Netflix.
Oh, that's right.
So it's a big day for entertainment, but that's not why you're here, folks.
No, you're here because you want to see if Rob's beard has grown back.
And I shaved it all off. Yep, it's all gone.
All right, guys, we'll see you later. Show over.
We'll see you later. It's over. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. And then we are going to come back with spoilers and a rundown as best as we can remember of 2 hours of Kenobi. And we're going to do it in 12 and a half minutes.
Maybe 13.
Maybe 13. All right. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
By Menon.
Yes, it is.
Man, that was a callback. That one. I don't know that anyone who listens to this would recall what Menon was.
Yeah, no. That was awesome.
That was even before my time. Either way, we are here.
way.
We are back, and we are ready to talk about the man of the hour.
Yes.
And his little gal pal Leia.
And so she wasn't in any of the previews.
No.
So we had no clue.
Not even a little bit.
I'm from the previews. I'm thinking, okay, all we're gonna get is lots and lots of Kenobi sitting on a perch with binoculars, watching Luke pretend to fly a TIE fighter.
They leaned into the Luke storyline, and I got to tell you, I'm hoping that they do give us some Luke because I mean, we know that Ben and Luke have interacted, right? Because he knows who he is. It just seems like Star Wars likes to make us go, "Hey, remember that character that we built this all on? You're not going to get any more on him.
Yeah,
he's done."
So in Episode 4. Luke says, "You mean that old hermit that lives in the desert?" So has he actually met Ben? Is a good question.
I know in the expanded universe before the Disney takeover, there was some Obi-Wan had saved him from sand people once or twice. But they can really do kind of anything now. So,
yeah.
But it also, I mean, I was talking to my buddy Dan earlier today about it too, and he's confused about a couple things. First of all, Leia seems to, I mean, in Episode 4, it doesn't seem like she's super familiar with Obi-Wan.
Right.
But obviously they spend a good amount of time together. I actually thought that was okay. I like that they did that because I thought in that message, it seemed like she was at least familiar with who Obi-Wan was.
Yeah, because I remember her saying, "Have to get this to my friend Obi-Wan."
Right.
Something along those
lines.
Like
that, yeah.
So she knew of him.
Right.
And I was going to say in the movie, or even any other time that we have seen Leia in Rebels or anything like that. I can't recall if she makes a callback, even just like a verbal callback to him, her being friends with him or anything like that. But he does. So, okay. Episode 1 seemed to me it all took place on Tatooine. And then Episode 2, well, no, I take that back. In the very beginning, we're first on Coruscant with Order 66.
Right.
So the very beginning jumps at you with lightsabers and battles and all the kids. So the kids that were being saved, one of them is expected to be Reva.
Yeah.
She could have been one of those kids that was in training when Order 66 took place, and that's why she's so angry.
Yeah, I was figuring that at the beginning of the episode, the episode when they had those kids running through, there was a little girl in that group that kind of looked like it could be her. So as soon as I saw that little girl, I'm like, that's got to be this has got to be a thing, right? She knows Obi-Wan because she was a Jedi, and she talks throughout the episode about, the Jedi will betray you. It seems to me like she has a personal beef. Like the Jedi left her to be alone at the temple, and then they caught her, and then they tortured her and turned her into an Inquisitor, and she's probably pretty pissed about that.
Yeah. So it was fun, and interesting. And then I'm watching some of the other YouTubes talk about it, and they were saying the producers didn't know this was going to happen, but how politically timely, I guess, unfortunate timely that scene is for what's going on in America right now.
Right.
And they said, had they known, maybe they would have done it differently or whatever. But
Why?
it was,
I
I
mean,
mean,
maybe they think it's just. I mean, it just because it's something that happens doesn't mean that they shouldn't depict it in art.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's I
Um,
don't know. I honestly didn't even think about that.
okay. I
Um,
didn't think about it either because I just saw, Order 66, and
yeah,
we knew that they were trying to kill all of the Jedi
all the
during Order
younglings. I mean,
66.
I guess because I've seen it so many different places. I saw it in Jedi Fallen Order. I was a part of Order 66 as a youngling, so it's
Yeah,
like, and I never even connected the two, honestly.
right.
Um, it is interesting. It's an interesting parallel.
Yeah, it's very interesting and very disappointing parallel. But so that starts, and then we go to Tatooine, and we get a very slow backstory on Ben. And I felt like the first episode, while it was very good
Yeah, it
storytelling,
was slow
was very
for
slow.
sure.
And I'm like, the kids today are going to be bored as anything with this, but the adults watching are going to be very excited for
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Um,
It was interesting seeing him cutting up that big sandfish.
yeah, well, it could have
Um,
been a crate dragon.
yeah, sure. It had big fins.
Yeah,
Um, it's interesting they kept like zooming in on him stealing a piece every day. So
yeah.
that's got to come to play at some point,
And
right?
I was waiting for,
Someone to catch him
yeah,
or
because that guy who only half a credit, and then
right,
the guy watching, the boss man,
right,
um, like threw that guy around for complaining about only half a credit,
right,
but yet, and he wasn't even like hiding it. Like it wasn't like he was like,
right.
and just like he
Just
gently
slice,
folded it up,
fold, put
put it away, like
every time, same
every
thing.
single time, and it was like,
It was very satisfying though, watching the slice. It reminded me of cutting through like really good salmon or something. It was just
yeah,
like
yep,
I liked it
right
a lot.
through, yeah. Um,
Made me hungry.
so, and it was also interesting seeing how mundane his day to day
Yep.
life has become.
Yep. Yeah, go home on his what's the camel called?
Eop on
Eop,
his
right?
Eop,
On his
yeah,
Eop, which is really cute and
yeah,
adorable. He every time he makes that same little slump
uh
to
huh,
get down. He gets in, he hangs up his bag, barters with the Jawa who stole his stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
If you're gonna steal my stuff, at least clean it first,
yeah,
and then the
cleaning's
Java goes,
extra.
cleaning's extra.
Tries to talk to Qui-Gon, and I guess he's not able to yet, right?
Yeah, he
So I'd
keeps.
imagine we're going to hear some Liam Neeson or see some Liam Neeson,
Hmm.
which will be fun.
Yes,
And then rinse, lather, repeat.
right, and day after day,
Yep.
and
For 10 years so far.
for 10 years, yeah. So, I mean, he went from the Jedi that just dropped in the middle of Count Dooku's room and was like, "Let's go,"
Yep.
to now he's hiding, doesn't want to use his force at all. He knows it's like important to hide everything.
Yep.
Some other Jedi comes and is like, "You have to help me," and he's like, "Nah, dude,
Can't do it.
just hide. Just do like I'm doing. If you hide, you'll stay alive."
And he didn't hide.
And he
So he
didn't
didn't
hide,
stay alive.
and he didn't stay alive.
And that shot that we saw in the trailer that we thought was him hanging, which was him hanging.
Yeah.
They did make it a little less gruesome than
Uh-huh.
all that. If they were going to show it on Disney, I guess they had to.
Yeah.
But it was still pretty brutal to see him dead and hanging there, and Obi-Wan like, oh well, I
Yeah.
could have helped him probably.
I could have yeah. And it's almost like he has so many, I don't want to say demons, but he has so many.
I would say absolutely demons.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, during that shot of him sleeping,
Right.
it's just back and forth. Anakin on fire. You were my brother. All this like that's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 10 years later. You know,
10 years later, and he's still upset about it, and he's still
and apparently, which is something that people have been speculating for a while about, he had no idea he was alive. He thought he left him there to die.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, we're jumping around a little bit, but when she
whatever.
says, Darth Vader is alive, he was like, you see his face.
And not only that, she said Anakin.
Anakin.
which
Yeah.
is interesting because most of the whole time of the Star Wars universe, even in the like new canon, like it wasn't reported that was Anakin was Darth Vader. That was a
Right.
secret. Darth
Yeah.
Vader was like this brand new, terrifying. So like the fact that this girl knows
Yeah.
that that's Anakin Skywalker, that means something.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out a lot more about her, and especially since she um killed, I put in quotes,
Right.
the Grand Inquisitor, because I mean, I don't need to say spoiler alert now, we already said it once, but if you watch Rebels, Grand Inquisitor is still around. So um
Yep. Sorry,
so
I'm changing up my plug here, but yeah,
okay.
I saw her run him through, and I'm like, well, that's not going to stick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Something ain't right here.
something ain't right here. We're
And-
changing history now.
And speaking of that particular character, I am much better about him now. I still don't love the way his head is a little lumpy looking,
Yeah.
but his demeanor and like his eyes, especially, and how he talks, it works really well. I think.
Yeah,
With the character.
it is interesting though when you go back and watch clips from Rebels, or even I think he was in Clone Wars also or something. But what at least Rebels and
Bad Batch.
Bad Batch, and he was even in like episode 3 when he was the guard.
Right.
When he was the
That was
guard
in Clone Wars.
in Clone Wars, when he
Mhm.
was the guard, he was taller and skinnier and everything. And then in Rebels, tall and skinny, just like he was in Clone Wars. Um, and now he's more human looking, a
Looking.
little chunkier. He did have the teeth.
Yep. Yeah, the teeth worked well too.
The teeth worked
But
well.
the eye, some of the eyes, and there's like a dip that goes down from each
Yeah.
eye, and it's like, oh, this dude is not good.
Yeah, yeah. So it was good. And the other brother, whatever, the one with the helmet that we saw from Rebels.
He's rad. I liked that character a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm interested to see him fight and stuff, but like, yeah, I like the way he portrayed that character because in the cartoons he's big and bulky and beefy and
Right.
stuff,
Yeah.
and like it's another like humanoid version, like real life version where I was like, oh, that's not quite like it was, but I like the way he played it.
Yeah, he's playing it. He's playing it pretty well. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where Reba goes, because she's obviously more angry and determined to get Obi-Wan than the rest of them are. Like
Sure.
the rest of them are like, look, we've been trying for 10 years. Now let's just get the rest of the Jedi's and whatever. So the whole first episode, I felt like once we got into Kenobi, was just rinse and repeat over and over again. Just
Mhm.
his life on the ship, cutting the
The sandfish.
sandfish, crate dragon, whatever it could have been. Um, Going back to work, talking to Ben, or talking to Uncle Owen.
Yep.
Uncle Owen yelling at him going back.
Brian's saying when you listen to that Inquisitor with the hat talk, the subwoofer goes crazy, and it was awesome.
Oh, that is cool.
I need to go back and listen to it with some good headphones on or something. I was just
Yeah.
on my TV, but yeah, he did have a really like gruff kind of
Yeah. So
inquisitorial voice.
it was pretty funny. So I was trying to set my alarm for 4 o'clock. I had something I had to do this morning, and I wanted to watch both episodes before going to do this.
Right.
So I was like, if I get up early, I can watch both episodes. Then I can go do what I have to do, and then I had other things to do during the day before you came over or whatever. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, I woke up and I was like, let me see if it's on.
Oh, it was.
And sure enough, boom, there it was. I was like, oh.
I got home from my concert last night at like, I don't know, 11. And I saw on Facebook or Instagram something they posted like, hey, we let it out early. And I'm like, Pagan's already sleeping.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. So they apparently released it early so that it would come out at midnight on West Coast time. So it would have
I
been
see.
even like 9 o'clock our time.
Yep.
Which I wish I would have known beforehand, because
Then you could
I,
just watch it last
would have
night.
watched it last night. But yeah, so I woke up like 1 o'clock. I saw it was there, so I hit play. I watched the recap. I like how the recap for it. I don't know if you watched the recap.
Yeah.
The recap was the breakdown of episodes 1 through 3
Yep.
of the movies.
Yep. In case you missed
In
episodes
case-
1 through 3.
In case you've been asleep since the 90s.
Yep.
Here's
But, you know, I'm going to tell my dad to watch it, and he'll probably need it.
Mhm.
You know, people like that might need it.
So that was pretty funny. But
Yep.
then, so I watched through that, and then I wound up falling back asleep. So
Sure.
both episodes played in my head while I was sleeping, and I remember waking up at one point and being like, "Man, that wasn't very good." But what I remembered in my sleep was nothing
Yeah.
that actually happened. Um, so then I did wake up, and then I rewatched episode 1 on my iPad. So it's kind of hard watching it on a very small device because all the little details are it's hard to see when it's on a 6-inch by 5-inch screen.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
So I was like, okay, and then but I did watch episode 2 on the regular television,
Right.
and it was much better.
Sure.
Um, so yeah, so that was my story of watching the episode. So then anything else like episode 1. So then
We meet.
we
We
meet
meet. Well, not meet, but
right.
we are introduced to young little Leia.
Yes, which is a firecracker, by the way.
Yeah, and they're really leaning, and it has to do, I think, with the Luke thing. Like, we've been asking for Luke, they're giving us Leia, and I have
Yeah.
no problem with getting
No.
Leia,
Yeah.
but I would also like Luke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's because Carrie Fisher passed away, and they're trying to give like tribute to her, which is great. But she's kind of a jerk.
She is kind of a jerk.
Like, dude,
she's a little
chill out. You're 10
she's-
years old.
Yeah, she knows more than she should. She talks better than she should for
You
a
think she was
10-year-old.
using the Force
So
when she was talking to her cousin, and it felt like she was like reading his fears and emotions.
so that's other things that I was watching online. People were saying they think maybe she was even like tapping into the Force when she was
Without
talking
even
to her
knowing
cousin
it.
without
Yeah.
even knowing it. And I think maybe without knowing it, she was.
Yeah.
She probably just knew that she could like sense all the things that he didn't like, and she
Right.
was able to use him against him because he was a turd.
Right.
Um,
I'll tell you I liked her. I thought she was awesome. The scenes where she's running away from people are like the scooter scene from
oh my
from
god, it was
Mandalorian.
another like.
Ooh, I'm running. I'll get you, kid.
Yeah.
Ah, no, I missed you.
Oh, I missed you.
It
Yeah.
was a little stupid.
both chase scenes
Yep.
with the bad guys
And but also with Obi-Wan. At
with
one point,
Obi-Wan
I'm
as
like,
well.
Obi-Wan, she was right there. You're a Jedi.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're running on the rooftops.
Yeah.
Like nobody else is around. Just
Stop.
stop her.
Come back.
Come here.
She literally told you, "Make me float." And
Right.
you knew when she said that. He was
Yeah,
gonna make
yeah,
her float.
that was definitely the Chekhov's
Yep.
gun right there.
But you could have done it earlier and avoided the whole situation.
Avoided the whole situation. Yeah.
Dummy.
And also like when she ran away the first time, she's hiding in the tree,
Right.
and she was like looking at all the different spaceships that were flying in. And she said one of them was Tri-Wing or something like
Right.
that, which was a brand new ship.
Mhm.
Like the parents didn't seem at all concerned that this like battleship or this whatever was flying into their country or into their planet for that
Right.
matter. They're like, oh, okay, whatever. So that was also like a little foreshadowing, like this is actually a bad guy coming to find you.
Yep.
Like
And it was Flea.
it was Flea.
What the hell?
It was Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was loving it. I was like,
It's great, yeah. But like, what a random cameo.
Yeah.
man. Like I know he's done stuff like that in the
He was
past.
he was
but-
in Back to the Future
Yeah.
also.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
So
but
he
he's
was
in even more too. I feel like recently he was in something.
okay.
But yeah, he popped on screen and Pagan was like, "That's Flea." I'm like,
That's
"Yeah,
what
that's
that was.
Flea."
I'm like, wait, is that Flea? And then so IMDb, he's not listed in IMDb yet.
Okay.
So I
well,
was
they,
like,
they had to keep that cameo hidden. for
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. God forbid we let out that
yeah.
Flea's in it.
But I mean, we also had a Tamura Morrison cameo.
Yeah, he was
Which was
awesome.
awesome. As soon as I heard that voice, I'm like, oh man, that's gonna be so cool.
So it was funny. His voice definitely sounded like him,
Mm-hmm.
but with the beard, and he looked like Dad bod Tamora Morrison
yeah.
also.
Oh yeah.
And even like I don't know, like his face, it
It
didn't
looked a little swollen.
little swollen.
I mean,
yeah.
they probably did. I mean, he was supposed to be a veteran living on the street, probably like drinking himself into.
Yeah.
So
And-
alcoholics tend to puff up
Right.
and stuff. So I mean, I think they did a pretty good job depicting what like a post Clone Wars veteran
Mhm.
who's been discarded might look like in a place like that.
And I'm hoping, like, because Kenobi stood there and stared at him for a little bit, and I was waiting for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping, I don't know if they go back to Nar Shah. Is that what the planet is that you always wish it was?
Nar Shaddaa.
Nar Shaddaa, yeah.
Yeah.
And it, once again, is not Nar Shaddaa. So
Nope.
they do not listen to this podcast.
Nope, not at all.
Dave Filoni, come on, dude.
It's a moon on Nal Hutta. Like it's a hut space. Like what is your anyway?
Yeah. So they
One day.
created a whole new, I forget, something with a D.
Dio or
Diode or
something like that.
something like that. So they created another planet that's full of scum and villainy, and it seems like every fourth person on this in this planet is a bounty hunter because
All their arms start lighting
yeah,
up. With,
Kenobi was lighting up the skies
Yep.
everywhere.
and I would like to know where they got that picture of him. Was that
Yeah,
just like his did like
it
on
was his
day
driver's
one?
license.
On day one of like Jedi Academy, do you have to like, or like every year, do you have to renew
You have to renew your
your
Jedi.
security
Uh-huh.
badge or
Yep.
something? You go into like the little office where they take your picture,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right, and you wait there to print it out. And you're like, this is silly. I'm a Jedi. Why do I have to do this?
Speaking of that, my ID badge at school is easily 10 years old at this point in
Yeah,
time.
yeah. They don't replace those very often, do
No,
they?
no, not at all.
My beard is much longer now than it was when I got
Yeah,
my picture taken.
yeah. So, and well, you might get a new one changing buildings
Maybe
if
we'll
you
see.
ask for one. Otherwise, you'll just be that one with the weird color at the high school.
Yep.
Maybe Brian, is Brian still in the chat?
I don't know, Brian. Make it happen.
Make it happen. Brian might. I wonder if Brian's ID is the wrong color also.
Maybe.
When so yeah, but anywho, so yeah, so everybody has Obi-Wan's face is shining everywhere, and so going back to introducing us to young Leia,
Right.
I think she did a better job of acting than your favorite young Anakin.
Yes, she wasn't the best actor, the best 10-year-old actor. She looks younger than 10. I
She
don't
does
know.
look younger than
I feel
10
like I'm
to
not
me.
around 10-year-olds all that often, but they look. I don't know. She looked like 8 or something
Yeah,
to me. But
yeah.
whatever.
Um,
Brian doesn't remember, so
okay. But yeah, the chase scene was definitely
lackluster.
lackluster.
Every chase scene in
Both,
Star
yeah.
Wars, I guess, has to be lackluster.
So although the Inquisitor chasing Obi-Wan,
That was pretty rad. There
That was
was
pretty rad.
some wire effects that seemed a little like, oh, you're on a wire. I can tell. You know,
Yeah.
like that when you can tell there's that sort of motion where they're like, whee, on
Yeah.
a track. But
When-
a couple of those jumps where she was like, boink, boink between the buildings.
Yeah.
But there was one thing where she pushed a bridge down and running over it. And then she did a backflip. Over it.
backflip.
Like, why would you do
Yeah,
a
I was
backflip
like,
over
why?
it?
This is
Wouldn't
so
it make
unnecessary.
way more sense just, talking about inertia and
Uh-huh.
momentum, just to give
Yeah.
yourself more speed to do a front flip?
You're totally like losing all your forward momentum when you're doing a backflip. Like it would
I
have
guess
just
she's
been
like-
easier to just like slow down than it would be to do a backflip. Or if you want to keep moving that way,
Just-
do a front flip. If you're
Or
gonna do
maybe
a
just
flip,
keep running.
just keep running. Yeah.
She's
And-
like, parkour.
Yeah, it was
Parkour.
total parkour. It was total parkour. It
Oh.
was total the internet sensation of 2007.
Point A is delusion, and point B is the hospital.
Then yes, these guys are doing parkour.
Yes, indeed. Oh boy. She's young. She's angry.
She's
Let her do
very
her thing.
angry. Yeah.
So they had that chase scene over the rooftop. That was crazy. It was
No,
silly.
it's crazy.
I'm trying to think what else. Oh, so we're jumping all, but who cares?
We are jumping all
we
over
had
the place.
we had the part where Kenobi gets on it. He has to go dig up his lightsaber, right? Because Bale
Yeah.
says, "Help me out." Dude has just like a little tiny little spade with him, which is adorable.
Yeah,
And I guess he really has a good memory because he's just like
because
went out to a
right in
random
the middle of the
spot.
desert, just
There's no
stops
big
in the middle.
X or
Yeah,
anything.
and on top of it, especially in a desert when it's windy,
Yeah.
like
There's
it could have
probably at
been-
least 40 feet worth of dune on top of that.
by
that's
that
just
point
been
in
blown
time.
around.
Yeah, and he digs down like 3 inches, and
But
there it is.
We've forgotten one very important Deus Ex Machina, the Force.
The Force, yeah. So he was able to find, and there were 2 lightsabers in the box.
Yeah, well, one had to have been Anakin's, right?
Right. Yeah. So he had Anakin's, and he
'Cause
had
we know that Luke's got to get that bad boy. So
Yeah.
it had to be somewhere.
yeah.
When he said like, "Oh, take that lightsaber and bury it in the desert," my thought was, "Oh, I guess that's where yours is."
That's where
Because
yours
I thought
is.
about Rey.
Yeah.
Immediately my thought was about Rey and episode
Yeah.
whatever.
So as soon
I
as
wonder
he
how
said
many lightsabers are buried in the
in
Tatooine,
Tatooine
desert.
Desert, I think we need to get a metal detector
Yeah,
and
man.
start going
Just
out there.
whoop.
Yeah, we'll
whoop.
find it eventually.
That's what the Jawas are doing.
Mhm. The Jawas were kind of funny. I liked his interaction with the Jawas.
Yeah,
that
he's
was pretty
buddies
fun.
with him. It was pretty cool.
But it was also, I'm like, wait, the Jawa just walked into your cave house. Like
yeah, he was just there.
he was
straight
just
up.
there. Like
That ain't right. And
Yeah.
of course, he's got that weird little unit that turns red.
yeah, it was
someone's
almost like an
there.
R2
It
unit.
looked like R2, but
Yeah.
obviously, I'm trying to think where R2 is right now.
Well,
It couldn't be R2
it couldn't be R2
because literally Obi-Wan, like 5 years later, goes, "Oh, I don't never seem to remember owning a droid."
Yeah, and I
Whatever.
think I saw somewhere where we get introduced to a different. Oh, you know what it was? There's in some of the Star Wars news, there was a leak, or maybe it's being released already. A Lego set in Germany, of the Inquisitor ship,
Okay.
and it has like the Inquisitor, Obi-Wan, um, maybe Riva, and a different droid as well.
Okay.
A different R2 unit, like a
Not the
red and white.
ladybug.
Not the Ladybug. Ladybug was cool.
I like that droid. That
The
was a cool
Ladybug
droid.
was cool. She was
Yeah.
a cool droid. And I thought Ben was going to fix it right there
I did too.
when she was like, he's broken or she's broken.
I'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah, because it was like, I don't know. She was wise beyond her years, but also very naive
Sure.
beyond her years. Like when she was like, the less you talk, the more you reveal, was a very mature
Sure.
statement. But then she was like, wait, they're hunting you. I'm gonna run away from you. Just like
Yeah.
the Bad Batch
Yep.
when what's her name runs away in the Bad Batch. I'm
Yep.
like,
Omega.
Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, okay, we learned that this doesn't work well the first time. Now it's not gonna work well again for you this time as well.
If we learned anything about little girls in Star Wars, is that they will not trust you.
Nope, they don't trust anybody.
No, be suspicious.
Be suspicious.
It's smart of them. Listen,
It
I
is.
wouldn't. It's,
Look,
it's
hey,
good looking out.
I tell my daughter to do the same thing. Yes, but I'm also not going to tell her when you're on a strange planet that is a thrive of villainy and whatever the words
Yeah.
are. Don't go running through the streets
Or along the rooftops.
or along the rooftops. Yeah.
You know.
So the one scene when she first starts right after she says something about her droid being broken, and then the warning comes up with Obi-Wan's face on everything, and she runs away. She runs right into the face of a big beast.
Yeah.
But
And she
then
just stopped. and
she
looked at her like
stopped.
this.
But then in the next scene, there's no beast.
Hmm.
What did
He might have walked away. No.
did the beast walk away, or did Obi-Wan make this image appear to scare her?
I think maybe the beast. I think maybe she was like, I don't need you, and turned around and went, oh my god, that's scary.
Okay.
Maybe I do need you.
Because when she then turned and ran, I didn't see him still standing there. So
I
I
don't know, I'd
thought
have to watch
maybe
it
it
again.
was like a force thing that he did.
See, I think the only reason I think not is that I think that when he used the Force to like make her float, that was probably the first time he had used the Force in a long time.
Right.
Because in Jedi Fallen Order, that's the whole thing. Is like Cal Kestis is like hiding, and what makes the Inquisitors find him is that his buddy, like starts to fall, and he uses the Force to catch him, and they're like, "Oh, there's Force stuff happening."
Yeah.
So my guess is that time where she dropped. It's interesting that it's literally the same exact scenario.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would just be so cool to see Cal Kestis, because Cal is running around at this point. Jedi Fallen Order takes place around this time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be rad.
It would be rad.
They're talking about the new one coming out. There's talks that you might be able to play 2 characters, which is hopeful that it's the Night Sister character, because I think it'd be so cool to have like Night Sister powers as a Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, and, like mold those two together. I've been saying that since the first one. So I don't know. It'd be cool to see some of those folks coming. We saw some returning aliens. We saw a Zabrak, the same species that Darth Maul is with the horns, which is how Obi-Wan hurt his hand.
Yes.
He like cut his hand on the dude's horn.
On his horn, yeah.
I have heard that we're going to see some more canonizing of EU stuff coming soon. So who knows? Could be some.
We did see a lot of different species.
Yep.
You saw like Velociraptor species. I forget what it was called, but you
Sure.
see that guy. You do see Forlom again, the one robot droid.
Yeah.
Droid bounty hunter.
Yep.
He got taken out.
Yeah, pretty easily. He doesn't seem to have very good range of motion.
No,
I mean, he's just like
he's very robotic, very.
He's like if C-3PO had guns, man.
Yeah,
that's not the ideal bounty hunter.
No, not at all. He's not like
Where's IG-11 right now? He's got to be out there, right?
IG-11 would much smoother, much more.
He's got a lot of range
faster
of motion.
movements. Yeah,
he spins around. His arms are all twirly whirly. Yeah. You use whatever you have at your disposal, I guess.
Yeah.
So nothing.
So then I'm trying to think. What did we talk? We talked about Flea already. So finally, like she's running and running and running, and it's like, slowly, and Obi-Wan can't catch her.
I'm running away.
I'm running away.
With my 14-inch legs as a 10-year-old.
I don't trust you, but I don't trust anybody. I'm a little bratty kid. So then what? So then they catch her. Oh, she falls.
Yeah, they're up on the rooftop. Quick. Wow, that was a Christmas joke, man.
I'm putting the
Or
rooftop.
too early for that.
Quick.
And like Obi-Wan has terrible aim for someone who can use the Force.
Yeah,
I'm
he
like,
could
literally,
not hit
dude,
anybody.
you shot Grievous like 3 or 4 times in the heart,
Yeah,
like as he was advancing on you. And you can't shoot this guy who is standing out without any cover whatsoever.
right. Like either they're like really playing into he's very rusty from just sitting
And
on Tatooine
he
for
did
10
say
years.
that a lot. He's like, I'm not the same person I was.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're trying to prepare us for how terrible he was at sword fighting in episode 4 or something. It's like, you see, he just got terrible. He's bad because he's old. My guess is that's not the case. My guess is we're going to see him do some crazy stuff in the next couple episodes to remind us. Oh, because they're leaning into that too. This is not some ordinary Jedi. You know what I mean? This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Leia was funny. She had a bunch of funny interactions with him when she was like,
Yeah.
"You're awfully old for a Jedi." He's like, "What?" She's like, "Nothing."
Yep.
And then
yeah, she was like, we're farmers and you're my daughter. Maybe my grandfather.
maybe my grandfather.
What'd you say? Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, so
We all got that kid.
That was we all know that kid. So that was a great line. She I don't know. For her, like I said, it'll be interesting to see where this goes because she was fun. She was also a bit of a brat.
Yeah, I'm hoping we don't stick with Leia for the rest of the series.
Right. And
I'm
I don't
hoping
think
this
we
moves
will.
on.
Uh-huh.
Because another thing Dan was saying is like, so the Inquisitors now have a direct link between Leia Organa and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So how is she going to be safe for the next however many years?
Right. And
with
Darth Vader doesn't know.
Well,
like
I guess he doesn't know, but the girl who's going to report to him does.
Right.
So my guess is
Reva,
hopefully at some point in the next couple episodes they resolve that.
Yeah. Because Reva, like, she set up this trap. It's a trap.
Right.
She set up this trap. So she knew. Now maybe she doesn't know that Leia is. She must not know that Leia is Anakin's kid.
Just knows that that's a senator's. They like Obi-Wan and Bail Organa were buddies.
And so she knows like if I get his kid,
right,
Bail will have to come to Ben to get. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense because that way it's not like this is Anakin's daughter. This is just Bail's daughter.
But even then, like they have to resolve it somehow so that there's no link between the Organas and Obi-Wan.
Right.
Because there's another 10, 15 years where the Organas are members of the Senate and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that. I can't imagine they don't resolve that, but it'll be interesting to see how.
It'll be interesting.
I just hope that it's not like buddy cop Obi-Wan and Leia's adventures through the galaxy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was
maybe it'll do it great.
Maybe, but I don't. I mean, she's a good sidekick to him right now.
I mean, we're only a third of the way through.
Yeah, because there's 2 out of 6 episodes,
and we actually got fairly lengthy episodes.
Yes,
55 minutes,
55
42 minutes.
The first one was like to the credits was 46 minutes to the credits, and the second one was pretty long as well. So, supposedly they're all going to be like close to that,
which would mean like essentially a 6 to 8 hour saga.
Yeah,
which is rad.
So
a lot can happen.
But
we end it right with Obi-Wan and Leia getting away because Reva stabs the Inquisitor, which is weird.
The Grand Inquisitor, yeah. Right? So she does not like authority.
No, she has a problem with it. Yeah, she has
a problem.
Oppositional behavioral disorder.
Yes, she does.
He says, "Stand down, bro," and she says, "Okay," until I stab you in the
Until
chest.
I stab you.
But again, he can't be dead.
Right, because we see him later, so he can't be dead.
So he'll be back and pretty pissed off.
It is interesting right now, like the Sith code is there's always 2.
Sure.
Except if you just name them Inquisitors, then you can have as many as you want.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing that like people have been talking about for a while, where it's like they the Sith rule of two is that there are only two Sith, but that doesn't necessarily mean there are only two dark Force users.
Force users,
So
right?
like technically these Inquisitors aren't Sith. They're minions of Vader and the Emperor.
Right.
Obviously they probably on their own have their own ambitions and stuff, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Vader is so much more powerful than them that like they're terrified of him.
Right.
And maybe not the Grand Inquisitor anymore. He's probably, I would imagine that dude probably wants to rise.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, because we're specifically shown in so much of the expanded media, included like Jedi Fallen Order and Rogue One, that Darth Vader is terrifying and
Yes.
and super powerful.
Yes.
So I think that's where the distinction comes in with Sith and not Sith.
Okay.
It's like they were Jedi, all these guys. So they're Jedi who are on the dark side, but
Right.
that doesn't mean that they've been given the training on these dark side, all the
Right.
dark side
All the
powers,
dark
and,
side
given
powers.
all these like holocrons, access to holocrons to learn new techniques and stuff. So much like the Emperor does to Vader, I'd imagine that Vader keeps a lot from them
Sure.
and
Sure.
just uses them as his tools.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
It's gonna be cool
interesting.
to
It'll be
see.
cool to see.
Especially since we got that rad shot of Vader in his back to tank. It's the first time we've gotten like
Yes.
a face-on
So
image where they're kind of actually showing. Every other time it's been like, oh, we get to see the back of him, or oh,
Yeah.
it's releasing, and oh, we can kind of tell. Now it's like that's Hayden Christensen. We know it is, and it's going to be a character. So I guess they're just going to be like, that's him. Let's do some stuff.
yeah. So it's made me. It was interesting because in episode 4, it wasn't obviously Hayden Christensen in the suit.
Right.
The guy who I forget what the
David
guy.
Prowse.
Yes, I feel he's taller than Hayden Christensen was.
I'm sure.
So, and then even when they pull the mask off at the end, it's not Hayden Christensen's face
Right.
in Return of the Jedi.
If George had his way, it would be. I think.
Now,
Yeah.
I think he would go back and edit David Prowse out and put
And
Hayden
put-
Christensen
yeah.
in, because they did that with the Ghost
Mhm.
of
And especially now that they have they're going to have a lot of images and video probably of him
yeah.
burned up and stuff.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me, but I don't know, because he doesn't have as much say now as he did once. So
Right. So it's definitely interesting. And then it was really funny when they start panning out in the back to tank, and I'm like, is it just going to be a head?
like Richard Nixon.
Yeah. Yeah.
in,
Like, is there
Futurama.
in Futurama, is it just going to be this head floating here in water? But then they keep panning out, and I'm like, where does it stop? Because they're like, we know, Obi-Wan cut his arms off, his legs off, like while he was like dying there on what's the planet? Mustafar. Like, he's melting away. His appendages are all gone, and he's like, "You were my brother."
Right.
And so we know all that's left is like segments or parts of his torso or whatever.
Right.
And even like when we saw in the previews them putting him back together, you see the forearm being bolted on
Yeah.
and screwed on there or
Mhm.
whatever. So I thought for sure it was just going to be just like half of a torso, kind of like a bust, like on like a piano,
Yeah.
like the piano bust. Like I thought,
That's it.
I thought for sure that's all it was going to be.
Yeah,
it
we
would've
get a
been
little
really
more
funny.
Chest than
Yeah, there's a
that,
little bit
but,
more chest. But
I'm guessing starting episode 3, we're going to see him suit up a little bit, and
yeah, and it was also interesting. Like they're really, really, really using this back to tank a lot now.
yeah.
Like
yeah,
Tamora Morrison had one.
I hope we get a flashback while Vader's in the back to tank.
the,
Just something like life on Tatooine as a child.
yeah, like why
That's
he's
what back to tanks do.
That's what they
make you
do.
Flashback.
They give you flashbacks. So it's like, oh god, if we have 30 flashbacks to when he was young Anakin again, it's like, oh please don't do that.
We'll see.
But we'll see. So yeah,
Maybe they brought our favorite little Anakin back.
little Anakin will
Jake
be
Lloyd.
back. Yeah, all grown up now. It'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
like teenage Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, they would have had to unfortunately get him out of like a. He had some real
He
real
had
issues after,
which was
unfortunately.
I feel bad for him for
yeah,
it.
it's,
Yeah,
it's lame. It's like, I get it. He wasn't great.
yeah,
It's fine, but like you could not be a jerk about it.
yeah.
He's a
You don't
kid.
have to like it. It was a kid. He was a kid. Like
I mean, he's a teenager now, or he's an adult now, so now I
Yeah.
can bash him
Now
all I
bash-
want.
it's like
Adults can take it.
like Star Wars kid, dude, lightsaber kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
The big dude with who videotaped himself.
Yeah. And then the other kids at school found the tape, and then that
Oh,
was
it
like
was a little kid. That's right. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
he was a big kid.
Okay.
He
'cause
was
there
like a
a
high
couple
school
of
kid.
them, I think.
So he was the one that he recorded himself in the high school TV studio, and then left the tape there for some reason, and then some other kids saw it, and it was one of the first like viral videos that ever went on YouTube.
Right.
And that kid also, like, everybody, they did him with lightsabers, they did him Lord of the Rings style,
Yep.
they just kept superimposing him on top of multiple different things. He was made fun of on David Letterman,
This is
uh
saying that his family
The
filed
Simpsons.
a $250,000 lawsuit against the families of his four schoolmates, blaming them for harassment
Yeah.
and derision from his high schoolmates and at public at large.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. It was scheduled to start in 2006, but him and his parents reached an out-of-court settlement with the defendants.
Yes.
Interesting.
Good. He became a lawyer.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Rock on.
Yeah. He became, so good for him.
Yeah. All right. Take that. Whatever
Yeah.
was used against you, and use it
Use it for good.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock on. So yeah, that kind of concludes
Yeah. The first two
the
episodes.
first two episodes. I think they were really good. I don't think they were super fast. I'm going to tell my dad to watch it, and I know he's going to say, "Wow, they were really slow."
Yes. Especially the first episode.
Yes.
The first episode was definitely very slow. I almost said we should do this whole episode in slow motion,
Yeah.
because the
Well,
first one was so slow.
It always makes me wonder what like the filmmakers are thinking when it's like, all right, we've been watching Obi-Wan
Mm-hmm.
like kind of walk for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, is this
how
what
long
you think quality television is? Which
like,
is, we have to see him walk at some
cinematography,
point.
I mean, it was a great
Sure.
scene. You see the two suns, the desert scene was very pretty, but a guy riding a camel for 30 seconds is 25 seconds too long
Yeah,
of a guy riding a
we
camel.
get it. He's got a long ride.
Yeah. Okay, got it. You could
If
have
he
done
were on
that.
a speeder, it would have been faster.
Yeah.
But he's on a camel.
He's on a
We
camel.
get it.
We get it. We get he's on a camel. We get he's doing everything slowly. Do we need to see how slowly he's doing everything?
So I mean, now that he's off Tatooine and out of that kind
Yeah,
of
that rut.
routine,
Yeah.
maybe we'll see a little less of that and more action, I think. So
But and also in the comics, Obi-Wan saves little Luke from Black Chrysanthemum.
right.
So
yeah, I forgot about that.
are we going to see Black
Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum?
Chrysanthemum, is that what it is?
Chrysanthemum?
Chrysanthemum?
Chrysanthemum.
I think it's black chrysanthemum. That's a
Yeah,
weird one.
not the flower chrysanthemums.
Chrysanthemum?
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
them.
Mums.
Yeah, mums. Yeah,
Oh, wouldn't it be nice if he had just like a little like thing of flowers on
flowers around his head.
That
It
would
would be
really
really-
help with the
Yeah.
intimidating visage.
It sure would. Some nice pink flowers going around his head like a little headband. It would be very pretty. But yeah, so some people were speculating that the whole reason they brought him into
Mando,
Boba Fett
was
to set him up so that we knew who he was when we see him
Obi-Wan.
in Obi-Wan.
Interesting. But that would, I guess, imply at some point in the next 3 episodes or so, Obi-Wan's got to make his way back to Tatooine and like resume his rut.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, I mean, they're on a ship
On their way, hopefully, to Alderaan.
on the way, if not directly to Alderaan, to somewhere else. So maybe episode 3 is them getting from wherever they're going, because we didn't even talk about Kumar.
Yeah,
he was great.
he
in
was
this.
really funny, man.
So when they bring him in, and he's like, "I'm using Jedi mind trick on you,"
Yep.
I'm like, "Okay, you're not a Jedi."
Yep.
Because a Jedi wouldn't say it. All the times we've seen a Jedi, they just go, "You are getting sleepy," and then you fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And-
this is a scam.
Yeah, this is a scam. And then it was fun when Obi-Wan walks in, and like you see him like put his stuff away, and he's like, "All right, I'm taking a break. I'll see." And then Obi-Wan's like, "Oh, I need a Jedi," and he's like, "I'm a Jedi.
I am Jedi Master, whatever.
Yeah.
I am here to help you.
Yeah." And he's like,
Give me money.
So I was waiting to find out what his trick was to get the thing to jump into his hand.
Yeah.
And so it was cool
Magnets.
when he was like magnets.
Yep.
And it was fun, like him like popping them out real fast. Also, backing up a little bit, when the Spice Girl,
Spice Girls.
yes,
People of the world, spice up your life. Anyway.
when she sang a song to him and then put the spice in his pocket, I thought for sure she was going to take something away from him. Like I thought
Like
she was
steal
going to get the lightsaber.
Okay.
I thought for sure. I was like,
Yeah, there was a reason the spice was put there. I knew, and I guess
Yeah.
it was there so that he could smash it
so
on
you
the
could
floor and
smash
make
it later.
Flea tweak
Yeah.
out. But I thought he was going to go all
And believe
Jedi
me,
mind trick.
if
You
there's-
don't want to sell me death sticks.
I think if there's anybody that can handle
Spice?
some spice, it would be Flea.
Yeah, he's seen worse.
He's definitely seen worse.
But what do we got? We've got 4 more episodes.
4 more episodes.
Next 4 Fridays.
Yeah. No, are they Fridays or Wednesdays?
Is it Wednesdays?
I think it's Wednesdays.
You might be right. It was supposed to be Wednesday. They delayed it 2 days, but then they said they were going to put 2 out.
Right,
So it is
because
gonna
they
be
delayed the first one.
Next 4 Wednesdays. So
Yes.
you can count on the fact that for the next 4 Wednesday nights or Thursdays, we're going to be here breaking them down, drinking some Bantha milk, talking about the stuff. I'm really
That's-
excited. It's going to be rad.
I think so. I'm excited. I liked June 1st is
June
the
1st.
next episode.
Yeah, that's this
so
Wednesday.
so that is Wednesday.
Yeah.
According, yes, it is. So Wednesday, June 1st will be the next episode coming out, and then we'll be going here live Wednesday night, chatting it up, talking all about what you just saw on
That's
that
it.
episode.
Right. We'll illuminate you. You'll
Yes,
say,
we
I
will.
saw that. I didn't think I saw that. And I'll say, this is actually what you saw.
This is actually
And
what
then
you saw.
Rob's beard will still be gone.
They will still be gone. Yeah.
Someday.
I think because the 2-hour episode was hard to try and find Easter eggs,
Sure.
or talk about them, at least on our show, because I'm sure there were 1,000 Easter eggs
Oh,
that
yeah.
we didn't talk about. But I did like the rundown. I thought episode 2 was definitely better,
Sure.
more action packed. We're still waiting to see him use his lightsaber. We've
Yep.
now seen
Hasn't
it.
ignited it yet.
Hasn't ignited. He almost did twice.
Yep.
It's kind of like the opposite of the Mando flamethrower.
Right.
How many times has Mando used the flamethrower
How many times
versus
hasn't
hasn't Obi-Wan used his lightsaber?
when it could have gotten him out of a sticky jam?
Yeah. So
Ooh, sticky jam.
sticky
hungry.
jam. We
I haven't eaten anything yet today.
we went plaid. We jammed the radar.
The radar is about to be jammed.
Strawberry.
Only one man would dare give me the strawberry. Lone Star.
Lone Star.
Oh boy. All right. So yeah, I think that's all we got for you this week. It's been a good one. We're
It has
excited
been a good
about
one, yeah.
the new Star Wars content. We've got a lot more coming.
Mhm.
Make sure you check us out on all the social medias that you have. We're on Facebook at Sacred Jedi Text.
Yes.
Send
Send us emails.
us emails, banthamilkpodcast.com or at gmail.com.
at gmail.com.
You can check out our website, banthamilkpodcast.com.
BanthamMilkPodcast.com.
And
Facebook is Bantha Milk Podcast.
Twitter,
Twitter,
Bantha Milk.
Instagram,
Just check
TikTok.
us out. Come find us.
We're on TikTok, although there's no TikToks of us, but we're
There
there.
will be
There will
someday.
be someday.
We gotta get Sherry on that.
Yes, she is.
Should be
She's
our-
the TikTok queen.
There you
Let me
go.
tell you, she goes live and has thousands of people watching her.
Well, let's get
Her
it.
and Cameron just do
Let's get
silly
it.
things. Yes.
All right, y'all. It's been good from all of us here at Bantha Milk Podcast headquarters. We have spoken.
We have spoken. Oh wait, you know who else has spoken?
Who spoke?
Hold on, let me tell you. I have a
Who
secret
spoke?
for you.
Tell me
It's
who
top
spoke.
secret who has spoken. What happened? It stopped. No.
What happened
Come
to
on.
Kenobi!